Third movement of Koyunbaba. So here we actually begin on the 8th fret. 2 and 3 are half stacked, that means they're both in the same fret. 2 is on the 4th string, 3 is on the 2nd string. And you're going to play them together and slide back, right? So it's just an octave. Slide back to 7th, and then you're going to play with your thumb and then index. And here's where things get confusing, right? It's really important to actually stay on point with what strings you're playing. So 4th and 2nd string, then you just break that same thing apart, and then thumb index again, but on the 3rd and 1st string, and then, or you can use ring finger or middle finger for the 1st string if you want. So, and then you pinch the 2nd string and the 6th, and then open 1st string. And then you're going to repeat that same operation on the 3rd to 2nd position, right? Right? So, 4th string, 2nd string, then 3rd string and 1st, and then back. Right? And I did make a little mistake earlier, so don't learn that. And then go back to the 3rd fret and pinch that with the 6th string and pull off. Right? And then there's a fermata there, and you move on. Now I'm just going to play it very slowly. A bar, right? Now I suggest, but before we learn it with the bar, think of the bar as just the index finger on the 2nd string, right? Your melody is going to do something very similar to what we did in the 2nd movement. Right? So now, as you do this, remember, you're going to be normally holding a bar. But right now, think, you start with the 6th string. As you land 4, you're going to join up with the 5th string. Then you're going to play the 1st string, in this case open, normally with a bar. Then the 3rd string, actually 4th string, sorry. Back to the 2nd string, 3rd string, 1st string, and your thumb finally makes it to the 2nd string. So you're alternating between the 2nd string with the pinky and the 1st string. They're the same note once you hold the bar, right? So again, just for learning it, I suggest, sorry. Once you learn that in your hand, in your right hand, just getting that alternation between 2nd and 1st string and the descending, you can land a bar. Again, I think I made a mistake there. Right. So 6th, 5th. 2nd, 3rd, 1st, 2nd, 1st, and then you retreat 3, 5th string, bar, 2nd string, 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string. Then you repeat the same operation on the 7th position, but this time instead of using 3, because of the tonality of the piece, you're going to use 2. It's diatonic, right? Then 6th string and 3 on the 1st string, 3, 1, and then 5th string, 4 stretching to the 11th fret, 4th string, 3, 1, 3rd string, 4 on the A normally, where an A would be on the 2nd string, 10th fret, then bar. That was just as simple as bar, 1st string, 5th string, 2nd, 4th, first, third, and then you go back to the fifth position. You do the same business, right? And then without bar, your left hand is going to be very happy there. No, maybe not. No, without a bar, my apologies. So you descend, third fret, third finger on the seventh, second string. You descend from first string, again second string, this time with E bass, first string, then your pinky goes to the 8th fret, third string, and you play that together with your A bass, first string, and then 3 on the third string together with your 4th string, all within the bar. And then back to 3, back to pinky on the third string. You're going to alternate between the third and the first string. Then you're going to withdraw that 1 fret from the 8th down to the 7th. Joining up to that is the D bass. And then here we have a motivic area that is actually easier than you would think. It sounds so much harder. Right? So it's just basically moving on the third string 2 times on the 5th fret. The pattern on the right hand is index, thumb, ring, middle. It's the Pima position, where thumb is delegated to the 4th string, index to the 3rd, middle to the 2nd, ring to the 1st. And again, thumb, ring, middle, 3rd position, only once, 1st position once, open twice. And then you're going to play with that as you move on. You have a repeat sign that takes you all the way back to the beginning, right? So you do this business. You're going to play around with the 3rd string, like I said earlier. You, as you move on, so 3 times on the 12th fret, and then 1 time open. And then you're going to move on so that you're grabbing the F on the 10th fret, right? This is with 1. You're going to need 3 on the 2nd string. After you add the 3rd finger, you're going to jump back to the 12th fret. So going back, as you get yourself to 7th position, right? You did this twice. Then here, so 2, 3. Now, the last time you do it, you're going to actually go straight from that B string immediately over to the 12th fret. And it's best to actually just move your index finger. So 2, 3. Now, the last one. So the composer is helping you by telling you you can lift your 1 and get yourself over to the 12th fret. So 2, 3, it's tricky. 2, 3, 4, 3 times. And then he actually has you set up this F with the pinky finger. It says it's wrong. Oh, okay. The fingering got a little bit blotched. So from here, so it's 1, 2, 3. On the fourth time, you lift your index finger. 2, 3, 4. 3 times. 3. Set up 4. Then 2. Actually, 2 times here. 1. Then move to 5th fret. Then to 3rd fret 2 times. 2 times on the first. 3 times open. And then you're going to do a harmonic. The pattern is going to change once you arrive to the open third string. 2, 3. Now it's tricky in sense to look at it out of the music, but it fits really nicely into the hand. When you actually hit that first harmonic, think that you're starting your arpeggio from the ring finger over, right? So 2 times, actually 3 times I like. 2, 3, 5th position. Then move over to 10th position. Then back to 7th position 3 times. 5th position once. Twice in 3rd position. No, 3 times. 2. Only once on 2nd position, back to 3rd. Now, the pattern changes abruptly after that. So let's go over this real quick. Out of the harmonic. Now, think that you start your pattern out of the first ring. Ring, middle, index, thumb. 3 times. Then on the 5th position, once, go straight out to 10th, back to 7th, and this is 3 times. Then 2nd position, straight over to the third position, 2 times. 1 time over to 2nd position, back to 3rd, open. Now, on the 4th time, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you start the pattern again, but you have to enter that index middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you actually are moving. Before, your melodic material was on the 2nd string. Now your melodic material is going to be on the 1st string. This is the interesting part. As you move your melodic material to the 1st string, you're doing a pattern that changes on your right hand ever so slightly, but it makes a really fantastic effect. So your thumb ends on the D string on the first half of it. As your melody moves up, you're playing the G string twice. Index finger first, then thumb. As you actually learn how to play faster, it really makes a very nice sonority. actually is going to start moving you now to just keeping your thumb to the second string, because you're moving now on a descending scale. Right? So the pattern actually has a melody that says, then you find yourself in very familiar territory. Back on 10th position. Right. Sorry. You find yourself on actually the 7th position. Right, so you actually have the main theme of the piece. On 7th position, 3 is on the 9th fret and the C sharp, and then you actually have 1 grabbing the B string on the 7th fret for the F sharp. Then withdraw, just 1. And remember, we're still keeping that pattern of D string and 2 Gs, right? Stretch your pinky to the 11th fret. This time your bass is on the D, on the low D on the 6th string. Descending now on the 5th string, 4th string, then withdraw your pinky and you're on the 3rd string, back to the C sharp on the 3, 4th string, right, back to 1, and then you find yourself in 5th position, grabbing the F sharp with 3. And then bar in the 5th, and then you basically withdraw 3 for the melody. You descend, right? And then an interesting just ending towards this idea, or maybe perhaps thinking of an unleash on the beginning of another one. Stretch. And you find yourself back here on 10th position, right at the area where it says A, playing the original theme of the second movement. But we're applying find that different right hand pattern, right? Seventh position. Then descending line. Now here, when we move to the third string, you're going to have to change the pattern. You cannot be jumping in between the third and the fourth string because now you're playing out of the second and third strings for your melody. And how to play this? This is the same material that we had in the second movement. Right? And then you're supposed to do a repeat of sections A and B. It's marked here in the score. But pretty much you go back to the same idea. And then he tells you to repeat A. Same business. We're almost there, guys. The pattern changes slightly, is just bass arpeggio, bass arpeggio. Starts on the sixth string, goes to the fourth, fifth, third. It really makes a lot of sense how he wrote this. Sixth string, you withdraw, right? So fourth first, open 3, 4, right? And then when he gets to the sixth string, just come back. Then he moves up to the seventh position. Then move one fret. This is almost my favorite part here. And then you do kind of an arpeggio across all of your strings, right? Right, so you drag your ring finger across the string. That's 4, 3, bar. Your bar is on the 8th. You're stretching out to the 12th, 10th fret, and then you're going to do the same thing on the third string and repeat it 3 more times. And then he's going to have you do pretty much the same right hand technique out here. Where was it? On the 5th position. Just playing through it. This is very same material as before, but before, if you remember, you actually had a different timing. This is an 8th note. Instead of going quickly, he actually turns it into part of a triplet, which means you're slowing it down. And sorry about the tuning, it's completely new, but hopefully this helps you with the piece. It's just a great work.